Hey, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1071. Not toothpaste. Toothpaste. It's Wednesday. Guess what I forgot to do this morning or last night? I forgot to take the trash out. It is trash day. I forgot. That's what happens. The holidays. We forget. What day is it? Multiple people yesterday. Oh, it doesn't seem like a Tuesday. You would think, hearing Tuesday. Oh yeah, Tuesday night, take the trash out. But see here, I know some municipalities, your trash is delayed a day if there's a holiday during the week. That's not the case here. So only our trash pickup is only delayed a day if it falls on the actual holiday. So what was the holiday this week? Monday? Was New Year's Day Monday? I think so. Today's January 3rd and it's Wednesday. The math works. If we had a Monday trash pickup, then it would be delayed to Tuesday. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everybody's on normal schedule, which is nice because then you don't have to, oh, there's a holiday this week. Am I delayed? Especially if you're like Thursday and it's pushed back. It's like, what? The holiday was last week. Oh, wait, no, it was Monday. So trash day is today. We'll see. I think so I've been very good. This may be the first time. Actually, no, I think there's been a couple times where I've had to go roll it out in the morning. I just remembered it here a few minutes ago. So we'll see at 8:30 if I'm too late. I think I can't hear the trash. I can't hear the trash. That's the one downside to this setup. I can't hear the mailman. I can't hear the trash can man down here in the basement. Like at the other house, I could hear that of the post office truck. Then I could hear of the big old trash pickup truck. So hopefully I think everything's a little later over here. Like my mail doesn't get delivered till like 3:30, which I don't care unless I have something coming that I really want. Like yesterday I had I've been looking up lots on eBay. I've just been looking at various auctions on eBay. And of course I found a good deal. Auctions suck unless you're buying. Auctions are great for buying. I found this classic WWF lot. And there's a lot of 89s mixed in with which 89s were a little more rare than the 90s. So I'm going through and Cardi the Pro does recognize wrestling cards now. And it's like 1989. I'm like, no, it's not. These are all 1990. I look at the back. Oh, shit. This is 1989. Yes. Little premium on those. I love auctions. I had one of my friends were in a group chat, and he's a get-rich-quick guy. So he's dabbled in he got into braking a few years ago. Then he was into flipping. He was into grading. He wanted to create his own grading company. Fortunately, I was able to talk him off that ledge. Not before he bought a bunch of frickin' Chinese plastic slabs. He's always looking to make a quick buck. And I'm like, buddy, there's no way to make a quick buck selling baseball cards. And if you do, it's not going to last. So he wants to get back into it. And what was he asking? We were talking about eBay. He's asking, what do I, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, if I hire somebody and do this, I'm like, no, it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. Especially doing low end. If you want to do low end and you're trying to find a way to get rich quick, guess what? It ain't happening ever. Nobody's getting rich selling $1.50 cards on eBay. So he's asking me about, well, what if I do auctions? And I'm like, if you want to lose money, if you hate money, sell your cards on eBay auctions. I like money and I like buying from eBay auctions. there are people that source their inventory from eBay auctions, and guess where they sell it? On eBay as buy it now. Like, come on. So that's we're going to talk about pricing today, because I was shopping last night. This was not for wrestling lots to resell, but this was for my Adon Sanchez collection. So I want to talk about wacky pricing today. And I think I realized why there's really whack pricing on one card that I'm looking at. And I think I realized why why that particular price is set the way it is, and why that person probably doesn't understand cards, or this particular card especially. So we'll talk about that today. I got a haircut yesterday. Look at that. I'm walking through the house the other night, and my hair is just like poofy. And my wife goes, "You need a haircut." When she says that, it's time to get a haircut. So I got a haircut. There was a lot of awkwardness at Sport Clips yesterday. Maybe it's because I don't get out much and I just don't realize, or maybe there wasn't awkwardness because the only time I get out is to go to card shows. So I'm just around card shows, and we're all geeks at a card show, right? Maybe I was just around like the average Joe and I'm like, these people are weird. So they must have been down a staffer. Because when I checked in, the online check-in Sport Clips, there were like 3 stylists. It's like, pick a stylist. It's like, I don't care. Just, they all can probably cut the same, right? So I'm like, first available. And there were 3. And then when I got there, because it was like how long of a wait? It was like a hour and 10-minute wait. And so I did some shipping. And then there's a post office right down the street, a couple blocks away. So I'm like, oh, I'll just take my stuff down to the post office, swing back. So I swung back, and I was still like 20, 30 minutes out. There's only one hair cutter in there. I'm like, huh. It was kind of early afternoon, so maybe the other stylist, I don't know, maybe one was probably out having a smoke, and the other maybe taking a lunch. Another person came out, and I think the girl who came back asked, like, where's whoever this person is? Oh, they were short at this location. Oh, that's why it was taking longer, because they were down a cutter. It was just like the dude that was getting his hair cut at the time. I couldn't tell if he was just weird or if he was trying to hit on the stylist. Probably both. I think it was both. I think he was weird and trying to, it was just a weird conversation. I don't even know what it was. Like, like you're on your phone and you don't want to overhear things, but you just end up overhearing things. And it's like, man, that's weird. It's like, go back, and you keep hearing it. And then a dude came in, an older gentleman, and he kind of shuffles in, and he opens the door and like leaves the door open. It's cold. It's January in Wisconsin. Shut the door. You trying to heat the whole neighborhood? Come on in. And he just stands right in the middle of the doorway and like looks around like he was expecting to walk into a bank, and he stumbled upon a Sport Clips. And then there were, I think by this time there were 2 stylists, and one of them was like, "Can I help you? Did you check in online?" And I don't think this guy knew how to check in online. He did not check in online. It's like a 2-hour wait. And he's like, "Well, can you put me down?" And I'm like, what? This is, and now I'm intrigued. Now I am engaged into what's going to happen next. 2-hour wait. Is he going to come in and sit down and watch sports on TV for 2 hours? Because even if you're 2 hours, if somebody's not there and they're like, well, hey, they're not here, I'll cut your hair now. So I was curious, how's this going to play out? Is this guy going to come in and sit down for 2 hours, watch a little sports on TV? I mean, it's just Sports Center on a Tuesday in January. Or is he going to turn around and leave and come back in 2 hours? And it's like, they don't even have his information. They just he gave him his name. I don't even think he gave a phone number, just his name. So I guess he knows their number. He could call and he's like, hey, this is Harold, not his real name. This is Harold. I walked in. I was the weird old guy that walked in, stood in the doorway, left it open for all the cold air to get in. Can I get my hair cut now? So he stood there for a while. I think the stylist went back to cutting the other weird dude's hair. And then Harold eventually walked out. It's like, I wish I could have stuck around and see how this all played out. I mean, I think his conversation would have been even more entertaining, just overhearing that. See, this is the point when you know you need to get out. Bo, you need to get out more. When you're finding entertainment from listening into other people's conversations while getting haircuts, I think we have crossed the line. It's time to get out. And not to sport clips. So that was my day. My wife comes home. How was your day? I got a haircut. Because usually it's I shipped and I listed and I listed and I shipped. Fun. I got a haircut. That was my day. We're going to talk about wacky, weird pricing today. We're going to say hello to Victor. Good morning. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. David's in the house. Good morning to you. We've got Shane here. Good morning. Donald's in the house. Good morning. You do not have to apologize. I think I brought you up for some reason. Why did I bring you up? I can't remember. Raphael is here. What's up? Good morning. Mikey is here. Good morning. Just got done at physical therapy. Mikey's done more before 7 a.m. I guess it's 8 a.m. than I've done all day. What else is going on? We've got Corey here. Good morning. Merle's in the house. What's happening? Donald is putting cards on Card Dealer Pro right now. Sweet. I did add, how many did I add yesterday? I added the wrestling. I added a couple of these. 300 cards yesterday. Just kind of, I did a lot of shipping yesterday. So a lot of just some casual listing. I did want to get some decent, there's some autographs, some low-end autographs, some Judge and Acuna, some Otanis. So I did list. So check out, an Acuna Mosaic Red. That's a nice, shiny card. So there's some decent stuff. If you're into wrestling, some 1989 and 90 classic WWF cards, which were delivered yesterday, and I wanted to test those out on Card Dealer Pro. Worked pretty well. So more shipping today. Still a lot of shipments to get out. It's been a busy weekend. Yesterday was kind of a slow day on eBay, but it's been pretty crazy here over the holidays. Must be that eBay gift card. That's what I was doing. Last night, I was spending some money on eBay gift cards, and we'll lean into that on today's topic about wacky pricing. Set Cards is here. Good morning. Chris Goodell, what's going on? He's 3 days in a row out on the West Coast, up early. Love to see it. Philly Joe is here. What's going on? John likes Big Lots. Do you like Big Lots on eBay or Big Lots, the retail big box store? I haven't been to, actually, the reason I haven't been to Big Lots, the store, is because they closed the one down here on my side of town. There's only one, I think there's only one Big Lots in Madison. It's on the east side. John says, I'm amazed at people auctioning stuff on eBay. At 23 cents sold with free shipping may not be a blueprint for success. Yeah, there's some. I understand why some people like to get rid of inventory. Like if you're doing penny auctions, that's I'm not willing to take that much, a $1 plus loss, but 99-cent free shipping. I'll do some auctions on a very occasional basis just to see if it drives in additional traffic. It hasn't to date. Every time I've done it, my traffic has been the exact same if I didn't do auctions. Maybe 1 out of 100 items sells for a little more than what it would have been at Buy It Now, but everything else sells for less. So it's a losing scenario. Red Light 34, what's going on? Good morning. Max says, I'm surprised those guys are still out there. Haven't they learned yet? The only way to create wealth is slow burn. I think it's a gambling mentality. I think some people are built for get rich quick schemes and whatever. My dad had a friend he was always on the next. He was selling steak knives and selling he would use us as his practice before he started selling the next big thing. Guess what? None of them worked out. Surprise, surprise. Neil is here. Good morning. John says, Bo sounds like he's getting ready to dust off that resume. Nay, that ain't happening. Not anytime soon. It'll be a cold day in hell when I dust off that resume. Shane says, I bought a lot off eBay about a week ago. Had a Unitas auto, a Wander Franco auto. Ooh, timing not so good on that. Christian Watson auto of 10. And some other good stuff like that. Got the cards, and they all have corner dings and other lovely damage to cards. Some of the cards were in top loaders with no penny sleeves. Super frustrating. Had to return it. That's a bummer, man. That is a bummer. Dan, what's going on? Sal Dougie in the house. Good morning. John says, did you need the booster seat at Sport Clips? Nope. I was able to climb up in the seat on my own. Orlando, what's up? Good morning. Michael Renicke's in the house. What's happening? Maddie Ice is here. Good morning to you. Merle says, see, you're selling swimming cards. Good job. Probably, let me guess, SI for kids? Probably some SI for kids swimming cards. Brian says, good day. Are the geese holding strong on your beach? We got some snow a couple days ago, so they haven't been. I think there's probably still some snow on the ground back there. Oh, no, it's kind of melting away. Now, they haven't been around the last couple days. For 2 or 3 days, I bet there were 100+ geese in my backyard. Down on my backyard goes down to a little slope into the pond. And the slope melts because there's no tree coverage. So the sun kind of beats down, melts that snow. And the geese hang out in the sun and the grass. They eat the grass, probably shit all over my backyard. So it'll be a fun spring. Neil says, looking for a thermal label printer today. Nice. I actually just set up my, so I use the Brother QL 1100 for my shipments, printing out the 4x6 labels. And initially I had a Brother, but initially I used a Brother QL 800. And all of a sudden, after a month of nothing going wrong, the post office started returning everything because the labels were too small. I'm like, and I think I went through this. I know I went through this story, but there may have only been 12 listeners at the time. So I took one of them and I looked at I took a previous one and I showed the track it's been scanned. They're like, well, it's too small to scan. The label's too small to scan. I said, no, it's not. And I brought up a recent one that went through the system. And I'm like, this was on a 2x7 or 2x4, whatever the label was. Look, it's been scanned. And she just kept saying, it's too small to scan. It's like, but no. So I retired the QL 800, had to buy the QL 1100, so that bigger labels, because I didn't want to run into that problem again and slow me down further. So I've had the QL 800 just sitting in a box for 2 years. And as I now organize my Cubs collection, it's like, I could actually use that QL 800. It's nice type. I don't have to, write. I don't have to buy labels and have them on a printer. I've got a label printer, and the 2x4 or whatever they are, the size is perfect for a box. So I tested, I found it. I actually found it. It was in my back seat. I was digging crap out, and I'm like, hey, there's my thermal from my move in July, still in the back seat of my car. And then I just had to find all the cords, because the cords were not, hooked up to it. And I'm like, oh, great, I'll never find the cords. I found them like in the next box. I'm like, well, it might have been in this box. Boom, both cords. So I hooked it up yesterday and printed off a label. In fact, it's right here. Now, it kind of looks like shit. It looks like shit because there's like a Stadium Club sticker or something. But so this is my Adon Sanchez, which is actually who we're going to talk about today with wacky pricing. My Adon Sanchez hunting continues. So I like the Brother line of products. There's a bunch. You're going to ask, if you ask this in here in the chat, you're going to have 7 different label printers and people will all say it's the best. You go into Hobby Evolution, you're going to have 17 people say a different printer. They're all going to say it's the best. They probably all are the best for each individual. So I don't think you can go wrong. Just throw a dart at a dartboard. I don't think you can go wrong. So I say Brother because that's what I've been using, and I have had 0 issues with either the 800 or the 1100. Well, the 800 with the label size, but with the printer, no issues whatsoever. Low Roller says, create wealth investing in Bitcoin, crypto, and don't forget playing skill games. I saw Bitcoin was up over $45,000 yesterday. Low Roller Scratcher was not here to give us that update. I had to actually go find that information on my own. Where's Bitcoin at this morning? Bitcoin. Oh, it's down, Low Roller Scratcher. Oh, if you would have bought it yesterday and sold it today, you would lose money. It's 42,500. Low Roller Scratcher, welcome back. It's been a few days, I think. There he is, Flipping Sports Guy. We've all been waiting for you. He must have taken the holidays off, or he was out in other states playing skill games, because you can't in Virginia. It's illegal to play skill games in Virginia. James says, how many sales a day are you seeing at the moment? And what number listed did you see a significant increase? I'm still averaging around 110. It's just kind of I keep listing, and I keep seeing the same sales, but it's still good enough. The good thing is my sale per item is actually going up. I'm being more strategic with what I list. I'm not just listing a whole bunch of $1.50 cards. Trying to list $5 and $10, $20 cards as well. So I'm around 110. That's daily average. Yesterday was down. I think I was only at like 70 yesterday. What number listed did you see a significant increase? Honestly, I can't answer that because I started volume selling when the market was absolutely bonkers, and basically anything I listed would sell back in 2020. So it all depends. Like that, I don't think anybody can answer that question at any time, because if you put say you're 1,000 items and you're like, I'm just going to list 4,000 Bowman, Topps Heritage, and Archives cards, and you 5x your inventory available online, you're not going to 5x your sales. So not a question that can be answered. I will say that the more good inventory you list, the more you'll sell. So you just have to find out what works for you, what items will sell, how fast that turnover can be. I list a lot of stuff where I know, this week I was listing 82 Fleer, 82 and 83 Fleer. I know that's going to sit for a long time, but every once in a while I'll get a trickle sit. It took me 5 minutes to list a couple hundred cards. But every once in a while, there'll be somebody that comes in, they'll buy 6 or 7 set builders. They'll get that, they'll buy 7 or 8. They'll get that volume discount. Sometimes you'll get, An 82 Fleer, say I listed a Pat Zachary 82 and 83 Fleer. Somebody's like looking to TT and Pat Zachary, and you'll sell 2 or 3. So it just kind of varies. Low Roller says your dad will be investing in Bitcoin and crypto today. My dad won't be. My dad is no longer with us. My dad is dead. So he will not be investing in crypto today. Thermal printers are better than sex, says John. What kind of sex are you having? Max says LRS, my dad will not. He isn't wasteful. There you go. Orlando says, better than sex? A printer, John? Low Roller says he just sold figure skating in his store today. This is Low Roller Scratcher. He's not even on my payroll, but he knows all about my business and what I've been selling. Figure skating. Bo's dad will be buying Bitcoin and crypto since his dad is on get rich schemes. No, not my dad. My dad's friend. Chris Goodell said, can you buy a drone so we can check in on Frank and the robo mower? Yeah, it's been a while. I did have to go over into the neighborhood. I guess it's been a couple weeks now. Something else was delivered there. I've had so many problems having mail delivered to an old house. I've never had these problems before with all of my moves. Now, I've lived in, I'm trying to think, from my parents' house, I can name all the Aspen Court, Sherman Avenue, MacArthur, Wheeler, Madison Street, Madison, Wisconsin, Verona, old address. This is my 10th house. 10th address that I've had. And I've never had this many issues with mail getting delivered to an old address. Now, I will say, I probably, I guess I was ordering, like I was selling on eBay in 1998, 99, but I didn't have a previous address. I guess I didn't move out of that address until what, 02, 03, 03. And then at that point, if it went to an old address, it went to my parents' house. So it's like, that's easy. And then the first few places, I didn't really set up. I wasn't there long term, right? Because those were like college days. So like the first apartment was like 3 months. Next place was a little longer than a year, like 15 months. And the next place was like 9 months. The next place was 9 months. And then the next place was actually somewhere I bought the house and I lived there for quite a while. 7 years, 8 years. How many years? Yeah, 7 or 8 years. But now, for some reason, I've got all this shit saved. But we lived at the old house for 7 years. And I ordered a lot of shit online, I guess. And I started my business out of that address too. So a lot of stuff getting delivered, and I'm trying to rectify. I'm like I'm like triple checking, making sure it's not going to the old address. Merle bought a binder of 64 and 65 Topps baseball yesterday. Couple of nice Billy Williams cards, several Hall of Famers. Nice. John says, yes, LRS, investing at the crypto peak is a no-brainer. Low Roller responds, crypto has been recovering from the bear market. Great time to buy in crypto. No, it's not a great time. It's a terrible time to buy in, right? You should have bought in last year when it was 16,000. I use my thermal to label my collection boxes and binders very cheap. Yes, I love it. Max says, I guarantee Bo's dad will not be buying Bitcoin today. LRS, I'm surprised you have any money left after 2022. John agrees with LRS. Go all in, then report back to us in June. Since Bo doesn't use bulk shipping, this is for the chat. How do you print bulk labels with a thermal printer? I tried it once and noticed it only printed every other label. Low Roller says, Bo's dad loves investing get-rich schemes. Most likely his dad strike rich in crypto. Bo and I were talking about Bitcoin yesterday. It's exactly where it was 2 years ago. A lot of dead bodies in between the two peaks. Neil says, hitting a show in Raleigh on Saturday. Hit the bargain boxes. Yes. No card shows for me this weekend. This weekend is going to be just my late. I say it's my lay low weekend. That's what last weekend was, minus the Madison card show. Although Friday and Saturday were like hectic. So Sunday and Monday were kind of nice to be back and slow. So nothing this weekend. And then next weekend is the Cubs convention. That's going to be fun. And then I've got a week off. And then I think it's the Madison card show again. Shane says it does that because when you print paper labels, you get 2 labels on 1 sheet of paper. How do you switch it so it only prints 1 label per page so my labels will work? There's got to, I'm assuming, and again, I don't use bulk label, but there's got to be a setting within your printing, within your eBay print settings, where it should only be set to print the label. So it's got to be within those eBay. I don't know exactly where, but look at those eBay shipping settings on that shipping page. John says, I like the rocket emojis. I also like watching failed rocket launches on YouTube. David says, great interview with Jerry. Is it Royce on your channel? He was very interesting and thoughtful. I did see that. So I'm going to have to watch that in replay today. If it wasn't live, or just watch the video, I guess. Dan says there's 66 watchers, but only 7 likes. Sheesh. It's because Uncle Rich isn't here to tell us to hit the like button. So I'll have to do it for him. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store. Let's pop that on. There we go. Don't want to waste that real estate down there at the bottom of the screen. James wants to know what the fuck a skill game is. Skill games, they're illegal in Virginia now. So Low Roller Scratcher has to cross the border to play his skill games and get rich. Brian says, good morning. Sold 2,000 junk wax cards for $100 and bought a huge card for my PC. Isn't that the best? That's the freaking best. When you sell a bunch of junk, and then you can take that money and buy a really good card. I love that. John says, thank you. Jerry had a sneaky good career and is a Topps legend due to his longevity. Flipping Sports Guy loves the set builders. Yes. It's like, oh, you want 7 Jerry Royce cards? Thank you. At $1.50 a pop. At my age, a clean fart is a skill. Is a game of skill. I'm getting there too. It's like, oh, sometimes I know. Oh, better not push that one out. Hope you're not eating your breakfast. Bo was just getting over the loss of his dad. Then LRS dredges it all up again. You asshole, Low Roller Scratcher. Royals 417. Good morning. A bit late, and I blame that 70s card show. He was watching Jerry Royce. Bo's dad lives in the fun stories he shares every day. I enjoy them, to say the least. Well, thank you. Low Roller was buying crypto since last year. LRS, with all the wisdom you share, you must be a billionaire. And it's so nice of you to spend your time with us little people. Mark Marinello's in the house. Good morning. He seconds that on John's interview with Jerry. Very informative and fun stories about his career. John says, I'm a bit of an idiot and my thermals come out just fine. There you go. Shane says, I will look into the eBay settings. Never thought of that. You betcha. Orlando says, awesome Jerry Royce interview, John. Very informative. Max says, if it matters to whomever was wondering about printers, I have a Dymo 4XL, which has worked great. If I were to buy new now, I would buy a Rollo. As it is wireless and compatible with iPad. Yeah, that's one thing that I don't print off my phone, so it's not something that I would use. Well, I say I wouldn't use it. I might use it, especially the computer. Remember when I was always late and I blamed my computer, the shitty laptop? I still use it. It's in the other room. It's my shipping, because at least here I can fire up this computer and boom, I'm on. And when I'm late, I'm just late because I slept in. Or I'll blame the coffee maker or the dog waking me up. Oh, I had to take the dog out. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So it might come in handy. The thermal printer that if it was wireless Might come in handy. John wants to know, did I ship the Mike Schmidt card asking for a friend? I think it did get shipped out yesterday. I think it did. I think he finally got his fucking Mike Schmidt card. Shane says to John, then I guess I'm a bit more of an idiot because I can't figure it out. Hockey Barn Collectibles says, got to get the CDP people on the ball to make it compatible with eBay Canada. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I wonder if that's in the pipeline. I'm not sure. TD Sports Cards, good morning. Merle says, have any more Michael Yelps cards? Oh, that's what you mean by the swimming card. Yes, I saw that sold. Thank you. Chris Goodell says, what do you guys do if you get back eBay standard envelope for forwarding expire? The post office listed the new address. LOL. eBay address is different. I don't know. If just wait until they say, hey, I never got this. The reason I say that is because I get so many fake addresses because it's for in my situation, I leave automated positive feedback. I get countless returns, and I started noticing a trend. They're 99-cent free shipping. They get automatic feedback. Most of them are less than like 25 feedback. Some of them, even a lot of them under 10. I get the same Chuck Wong in Mayfield, Kentucky, where the zip code 0000 or something. So when I see Chuck Wong, I just hit ship. I mark as shipped because I've had so many damn returns from Chuck Wong in Mayfield, Kentucky. It's like, okay. I've had people reach out. Hey, just mark, don't ship this card. Thanks for the feedback. Oh, okay. Hopefully I'm not contributing to the dregs of society who want to build up their scamming fortune. But yeah, so typically when that happens, I'll set it aside in a pile. And when somebody reaches out, didn't get it, it's like, oh yeah, here I have it. I'll send it right out. John says, I have the same thermal printer as Max. Just make sure you buy the one that prints 4x6. That's the thing that really matters. And that's what screwed me up on my 800 from Brother. Was it's not compatible. It doesn't print out the 4x6s. And then my post office got angry and kept sending them back. Actually, they just didn't keep sending them back. They just sent them back in one. And then they're like, nope, they're too small. Max says, I touch a desktop for about 5 minutes per day. Oh, wow. I love desktops, man. I actually bought a desk. This is the machine I'm on right now is an actual desktop computer, not a laptop, but a desktop. First desktop I bought since like 2004, a Gateway or a Dell. This is a HP. And I would probably buy another when that laptop eventually croaks. I'll probably buy a desktop for my shipping area. I love desktops now. It's like it's nice to have a laptop to take somewhere, but I've noticed when I go to like spring training or anywhere, it's like I don't use it because I use my phone. I'll take my iPad for a flight, but once I'm at my destination, I'm not, on a computer or anything. Although I do take my laptop. I guess I do the one difference. Spring training, I do take my laptop so I can do a couple Hobby Evolution episodes. Where are we at? John says the Dymo can use third-party labels, which also matters. And that's huge. That's also huge. I agree with that. If you can get cheap labels. Brother, you can get cheap labels, but you have to be careful because with Brother, they have these black bars. And so there's a sensor within the Brother, at least the brothers that I have, there's a sensor. So if they don't have those black bars at the end, it won't print. And so I ran into that, like one cheap batch I bought. It's like, shit. So the labels are a little bit more than the cheapest ones. Corey Garcia says, time to put my trash out. LOL. Colorado here. Trash day in Colorado. Kyle's in the house. What's up, Kyle? Good morning. John says, I would imagine a 2x return on Bitcoin is better than the return on skill games, which leads to the question of why the fuck are you playing skill games instead of Bitcoin mining? Shane says, I shipped a card out and got it back after about 2 months. It had about 4 different dates stamped on it, and it said something along the lines of this was never picked up, was to a P.O. box. Low Roller Scratcher says, desktop can last 15 years. John says, desktop, meaning monitor and PC all in one, is the monitor touchscreen. No, it's not touchscreen. This is, does it have, yeah, this is an all-in-one. So does that mean it's not a desktop? It's just a giant monitor with a computer inside? I don't have the tower. Is that what they call? I don't have a tower. Back in the day, the last time I bought, before I bought this one, and I think that's when I first shopped for them, I'm like, well, where's the top? I'm only getting a monitor. And they're like, well, it's an all-in-one. And I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Well, it's all-in-one. Makes sense. It's not just a name. The gateway, it's like, fuck, you had the tower and you had the giant monitor, and then you had like fucking 12 different speakers. You had wires. Now it's just all in one and a keyboard. Let's see. Brian says desktops are superior in many ways besides portability. Shane doesn't like desktops because I can't take it anywhere. Then you're a laptop guy. And that's there was a time that it's, I traveled a lot. So I was never home. When I worked at the university, I was on the road with watching a basketball game for the newspaper I was working for part-time, or I was traveling on the road with the basketball team or football team at the university. I was never at home. Never at home. Okay. I slept at home. Well, sometimes I slept in hotels in Brookings, South Dakota, but I wasn't really. We're at 98 live viewers. What the hell? What are you guys watching? Hit the like button if you're here. But I never really used a computer at home. Like the reason I was using, when I was home, I was just like hanging out. So I needed a laptop at that point. John says, what you have is an actual desktop. We used to call the towers desktop, and the towers were always on the ground, not on the desk. Aha. Parkway driveway shit, or garage sale, yard sale. 1 year from now, Bitcoin will be $100,000 per coin. Low Roller Scratcher was right. You should be buying at 40 to 45K. Woody's in the house. Good morning. USPS is a pain in the ass. I wish they would educate their employees, amen, about the eBay standard envelope service they offer and stop charging people for extra postage. Amen. Amen. Red light says, hit the like button. Let's see. Low Roller says, all-in-one desktop. You can take it anywhere now, as long as you have wireless Wi-Fi and a free. Yeah. I don't think I want to carry a 27-inch all-in-one monitor around. Not going to do it. Johnny says, good morning. At the gym, trying to lose some of this holiday. How's the gym? There was a funny, I don't know, I think it was a video or something where it's like first 2 weeks of January and the guy walks in and there's like 700 people in the gym and they're using all the equipment wrong. And that's how I imagine what gyms look like this week, especially the last couple days, first couple days after the New Year's resolutions in effect. And there's all these people at the gym. eBay standard envelopes are really not that big a deal to USPS, more of a pain to them than to us. Yes, because it's not a USPS thing. It's a third party. So I don't think they want to take the time to educate. Dan says, I bought a PC from a Canadian PC seller here a few years ago, and I asked him where the CD drive was. That's another thing. I'm like, where do you put the CD-ROMs? He said, everything is online streaming. Alrighty then, throughout all the CD games. Yeah. It's like, I'm like, oh shit, this doesn't even have, I guess I could put, there's a USB port you can put in your little thumb drive, but no CD-ROM. How are desktops superior, though? Literally everything I need a computer for can be done from my iPad besides printing labels, and that has to do with the printer, not the iPad. I don't know. But if you get I don't know. I think desktops are superior. Card people think they're the only people. We are strange. Is it myopic or myopic? That's always the big thing I've always wondered about. Biopic. I think biopic sounds better. Like Rollo. The Rollo printer sounds much better than Rollo. Biopic. Biopic. John says you can't take the desktop to the powder room without a reboot. Johnny Yim says, not bad this early. Don't do afternoons here. Imagine all the trans fats being wiped off gym equipment this week. I agree on the Bitcoin and having buying for the last week. You could buy a CD peripheral. Desktops are Lyle. Anyone having issues printing labels on eBay? I have not printed any yet this morning. I was printing some last night, yesterday afternoon, had no issues, but of course, 1 second that can change. Red Light says USB CD-ROM drive. I have a few. Oh, Brian's going to finish his thought. Desktops are like cars. You upgrade parts, they last a while. There you go. Max is coming from an online seller point of view. I understand that some need it for editing, but wasn't including anything else here. Understandable for other occupations. So from my standpoint as an online seller, I like having the giant monitor for, especially when I'm loading cards. I like seeing a big picture. So I like having the desktop. I don't like, if I list cards, I can list cards, but it's not fat. Like, I can't take my Fujitsu Ricoh scanner. Like, it's just not, like, I can't see. I would have to take a laptop or an iPad. I don't even know if the iPad would hook up to the scanner. So, like, if I wanted to do it fast, but again, if I'm somewhere else, I don't need to be, like, all of my online selling, I do it from home. Like, I don't, if I can list cards on the road, but like, I'll just do it from my phone. Like, it's not efficient to do volume selling on the road, just based on what you need. So that's why I love having a desktop with a big screen so I can see the pictures as they come up and scan through and all that stuff. Shane says, oh my God, Korean, same thing happened to me, except it was a laptop. Bought it at Best Buy and about a month later found an old PC game and got excited. Went to put the disc in and no place to put it. Bummer. Where are we at? Kyle says, no guarantee Bitcoin does anything. Max says, buy monitors and dock the iPad. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. Pricing is whack, man. So the funny thing about pricing is it's always a pricing is a me first. It's a me first attitude when we bitch about pricing. I'm about to bitch about pricing because it's affecting what I want to buy. And we see it's like, oh, this person's crazy. Sometimes, and I understand, sometimes I'll list something on eBay. Dylan Cease was a perfect example. I had PC'd, and actually I won't even say I PC'd Dylan Cease because it was a flipping opportunity. It was one of my early prospecting ventures. And I'm like, I'm going to buy these cards to flip. And it would have worked out swimmingly had I not started collecting 1 million Cubs cards and been afraid to sell anything. Although I made most of my money back on like 2 sales. So I had set a price for, I had a gold, I think it was a gold auto refractor, first chrome gold auto of Dylan Cease. I paid like $35 for it. And this would have been in 2016. I paid $35 for it. By 2018, I think, so only like 2 years. And this was one of those things where it's like, I'm going to prospect this guy, but if he doesn't pan out, I don't care because it's still a Cub card. So it's a win-win for me. Maybe I could buy his stuff. If he doesn't pan out, I can buy his stuff cheaper down the road, hedge down. Otherwise, I'll flip it. And so it got to be 2018, and he's getting close, man. And I'm like, I'm going to put this at $250 on eBay because, hey, I'd be more than happy to sell it for that. And I'd get messages all the time. This is a $80 card, last kind, and I'd get comps, and it's like, I don't care. I'm not selling. I have actually an example right now. I have the Triple H WWF debut ticket. I was there, 5th row, Mark of the Quad Cities. Buck Zumhoff was his opponent. I've got it in my eBay store for like $1,000 because I don't want to sell it. But if somebody bought it for $1,000, I'd be happy to ship it to them. But it's like, I had somebody like, it's all about condition. And in this condition, it's I'd do $150. It's like, no, I would buy this same thing for $300 myself. And so I told them, like, thank you for the offer, but I was here. This is, sentimental for me. This is my price. Like, I'm really not coming down from 1,000. Like, I think realistically, if somebody offered me $750, I would take $750. Nobody's going to offer me $750 for this ticket. It's in shitty condition. There's no market for it. Well, I mean, actually, no, that's wrong. There is a market. There is a market for it because I know there's people that want it. But not at that price. There's no market at the price I want to sell it for. And I don't care. Like, it's just going to sit there. It's a museum piece. And that's okay. You can have museum pieces. That's what some people fail to understand. It's like, well, why is it on eBay? It's just a museum piece. Well, because if somebody wants it more than me and they're willing to pay the price, it's not a museum piece anymore. So I was doing that with Dylan Cease, and I'd get multiple people. Oh, it's an $80 card, $90 card. And all of a sudden, the number kept rising. And all of a sudden, it went from like 125 to I'm getting $200 offers now. And so I had it for, I think, $250. So the 200s, I'm like, oh man, should I pull the trigger on 200? But it's like, you know what? I think I had resigned myself to 215 or 220. And one of the people that offered 200, I countered back at like 225, and they countered back at like 215. And I think they may have bought, I don't know if this was the same. No, that was a different card, but 215. It's like, hey, I paid 35 for it. This pays for like all of the Dylan Cease cards I bought. So basically everything that I had speculated on Dylan Cease was free. So that played out well. Then there's cases like my Triple H. I don't think that's ever going to sell because I value it higher than what it's worth. So the point was last night, Adon Sanchez. Somebody asked, why are you collecting Adon Sanchez? Let's get to the chat before I go into this story. Adon Sanchez coming up. Where are we at? John says, you can play CDs and DVDs on computers without internal CD drives. The world must be very hard for some people. What store level are you at on eBay? I'm on the fence about upgrading from basic to premium, but I'm skeptical about if it will pay off in the long run. Price difference is 3x. Thoughts? I can't answer that for you. You've got to run your own numbers. First off, you've got to maximize your listings. I don't know if you're there or not. If you are there, look at your numbers. Is it going to pay off? I mean, you go from 10,000 to 60,000 listings. Do you have the volume? If you only have 1,000 cards of inventory you want to list, yeah, maybe it's not worth it. But if you have 10,000, it might be worth it. How are your sales? Will your sales make up for that 3x difference? In my situation, it was 100% worth it, without a doubt, no question. but that's not for everybody. You've got to look within, and do you have the inventory? Are you making the sales? Only you can answer that. Oh, and you followed up with maxed out on amount of cards listed right now. So you have maxed out. Are you selling? I mean, basically it comes down to if you're maxed out at 10K and you're just still sitting at 10K and you're only selling a few cards a day, then now you've got to take a look at your inventory and be like, oh, either blow them out on auctions and get 99 cents. I don't know what type of inventory you have either. But if you're not selling enough, then you might just have to wipe your store and strategize a different plan. Let's see. Where are we at? Brian says, just switched to my work PC so I could use my wireless headset. I didn't sign a EULA, so I think I can watch while I work. Hey. Cooter says, shoot a copy of the ticket and sell. I just can't do that. Neil says, when using Car Dealer Pro, do you need created eBay templates? No. So Car Dealer Pro has its own template. You can create your own template within Car Dealer Pro as far as settings go, like how you handle returns, how you handle your shipping, how you handle titles. You have those templates. But as far as like the spreadsheet it spits out, it's already set up for eBay. Flawed Thinker says, do you think that your Triple H ticket is worth more than another ticket for the same event since your seat was shown during the match rather than a nosebleed seat or something like that? Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. See, I don't know the ticket market, but that's a great point. I know there's a premium on tickets that are actually, like, you would think like an unused ticket. Oh, it's unused. It's mint condition. But ticket collectors, that's worthless. Not worthless, but it's certainly not valued at what a used ticket is. But that's a good point, because fifth row, I was across. You can actually see me in my seat on that match of Triple H. I think we showed it here on this previous video. John says, I'm selling all of my desktops since they're at their peak. Mark Marinello says, was his name still? So this was his debut. So it was. This was Hunter Hearst Helmsley's WWF debut. It would have aired on, I think, April 30th, 1995. The match was live on April. It was the Wednesday, April 25th, I think. Actually, it might have aired I don't know if they got it to air that same Saturday. But it was, yeah. So he had, like, I don't even know. I'm sure there were vignettes that played leading up to his debut. So this was a WWF Superstars taping. But I remember, I still vividly recall, because I love new characters, especially in that 95, 96 era, the new generation. And my friend Luke was with me. My mom took us. How old were we? Like 8th grade, 9th grade. Didn't have our license. We're 13 or 14, 12 or 13. And I remember the music hit. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, we looked at each other. We're like, whoa, who is this? This is a new character. And it was the Connecticut Blue Blood Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And he fought Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff, who's a terrible person. Don't Google him. Google him and see how much of a shithead he was. Mark was at Madison Square Garden and saw this new guy who the crowd hated, Rocky Maivia. Nice. Woody says, I have inventory. Sales are popping, average 20 per day. Unicorn Cupcake. What a name. What a thumbnail. What do you think of vintage museums at card shows for sale, but not for comps? I'm okay with it. You know, I get, like, at the National, because I think it's cool. Um, because some of the stuff that's on display, like say a Cap Anson, something rare of Cap Anson, I can't like it's not within my budget to buy that. So I don't care what they have priced. It's cool to look at. Like I enjoy looking at rare, and I love 19th century baseball stuff. So for me, I am 100% for it. Like I've got a dealer at my show, and he is at comp, so it's not a fair uh, uh, assessment here. But I don't even know what the prices are. Like on some of the stuff, I just think it's cool, and I look at his showcases every time, and I have bought stuff from him, and he is really fair priced. But some of the stuff, like I have no interest in buying, but I still enjoy looking at it, and I'm glad it's there because it's really cool. And I don't even know what the comps are, or what his pricing is compared to the comps on some of the stuff. It's like, oh, I'm going to buy this. I bought I don't think it's in my showcase up there, but Three Fingers Brown from him, not this month, but in the November show. So I'm all for it. Now, if you have a show that all of a sudden there's like it's nothing but vintage museums, then it's like, is this a card show or is this a card museum? But I think for the most part, that's not the case. A lot of people don't want to set up and not sell. Some do. A lot of the guys that set up at the National with tables such as this do it just because it's a week away from, it's a vacation for them. They get to see their old buddies who they've been setting up with for 40 years. I'm okay with that. Max says the decision on eBay store size is just all simple math. There's a point where it's better to pay per listing than for a bigger store. Yes. Then once you get to that point, spring for the store. Absolutely. Absolutely. Corey says, I've been watching a lot of your videos and others. Card Dealer Pro is great. My store is growing every day. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. John asks, does Burbank use Card Dealer Pro? I don't think so. They do use Rico scanners. They use the feed scanners, but I don't think Burbank uses Card Dealer Pro. I don't know if they use Chronazio. Oh, Max says he thinks Burbank is Chronazio. I'm pretty sure they use something, but I'm pretty sure it's not Card Dealer Pro. John says, thanks, Max. They actually have a lot of errors and missing info in their listings. John says the thought of a ticket where a seat is shown on a broadcast being worth more than wasn't hurts my head. The ticket world is a completely different ball game than baseball cards. Max says, I believe Rob was in one of their commercials, if I'm not mistaken. That does make sense. Steve, what's going on? Have you done a video of your process of sitting down with new cards to listing on eBay? I'm interested in lessons learned. I do have a video that I did, let's see, probably a year ago. Let me get it in the chat. Oh man, I don't even know what oops, that's not what I wanted. View your channel. What the hell did I name it? I think I did it like last year. I wonder if I do most, because I'm sure it's one of my most popular. Oh, it is. It's like my second most popular video. The fastest and best way to bulk list baseball cards on eBay. That I used this computer on the so I'm going to pop it in the chat. This is the link, and this goes through. Now it's a little bit because Card Dealer Pro is changed. My process might have changed because this was done about a year ago, but it'll give you an idea, somewhat of an idea of how my process works. Brian says end user license agreement. Aha. No idea what that means. Something a company has, you sign saying you won't do any shadiness while using company equipment, pronounced EULA. I don't think I signed a EULA at my previous company, even when we went to work from home, because I don't remember I don't remember those letters. Looks like one of Bo's ancestors in Unicorn's thumbnail. Could have been Curly Bill. The Kentucky twig of the Thompson family tree. Absolutely. That's Curly Bill. My thumbnail looks just like my best friend, but Civil War era. Max says, have a place at big shows, not at small ones, not for comps. Don't have a place anywhere, though. Having shit nobody can buy at a show is dumb, especially when there's a wait list. So there's actually 52 mantles. Probably not too many people at the Madison Card Show can, fork over $50,000 for a 2 or a 3 mantle 52 tops. But I've got one dealer, he comes about once a quarter, and he's got super high-end shit like that. But it's just there to show, because if people see that, it's great marketing because he's a buyer. So he sets that up and it attracts people. And when people see that, they're like, oh, this guy's got money. He's going to buy my shit. So it's actually pretty good marketing if you're buying vintage high end. Mark says, I still have my WrestleMania 1 ticket framed along with the stub when Hulk Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik. So that wasn't WrestleMania 1. That would have been just a Madison Square Garden show. So Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden in 1983. And then WrestleMania 1 would have been the following year. And it was, I think, a mixed tag match? Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. Was that the WrestleMania 1 match? Steve says, thank you in advance. I got my setup going. 8170 Car Dealer Pro, looking to rock and roll. Love it. John says he misses the old 1 Million Cubs broadcast studio. Steve says, me too, 70s. He should go back. Well, I'd have to take all the cards back. I wonder what it looks like right now. I wonder what I wonder what they've done with the old card room at the old house. I've never met them, the new owners, but I've gone to pick up my mail a lot. Wrestling used to be amazing. DX with the Suck It, Stone Cold versus The Rock. Stone Cold coming out during WrestleMania, everyone taking everyone out. That was good wrestling. Those were fun times. Because we went right into, because I was going to wrestling matches in 95, 96, and it was like dorky. Like, because I was in junior high, my friends would make fun of me. I only had like 1 or 2 other friends that would talk wrestling with me at the lunch table. Our friends would like laugh. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, we're in high school and DX and Stone Cold and The Rock, and all of a sudden everybody thinks it's cool. Wrestling's cool. It's like wrestling's always been cool. James says a lot of people just bring high end to flex. There's some of that too. Mankind and all his crazy stunts. I guess I'll be watching old wrestling later. Hell yeah. Culper78 says, any other software needed to use 8170 with Car Dealer Pro? No software, just the software that you download for the scanner, which you can just download the driver on the Rico website. Car Dealer Pro, as long as you sign up, that's it. That is it. Michael Rathburn, what's up? Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Orndorff, Piper, and Snuka? I thought it was just a regular tag match. I don't remember Snuka being in there. Hogan beat Iron Sheik January of 84. Okay. So 84 and 85. WrestleMania 1 was 1985. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was 83 when he beat the Iron Sheik. Signed up for Car Dealer Pro yesterday. You were right. It is so much faster. Even if I don't have a scanner, I will never doubt you again. Thank you. James says, when do you think the card market will boom again? Oh, man, 25 years, 30 years? Have that in the back of my mind as I use Car Dealer Pro. It's going to be a while. I think it will probably, I don't think we won't see another boom. We will not see another card boom like we saw during the pandemic for another 25 to 30 years. That's my take. John says, I was going to matches and it was dorkier than dorky. Thank God there was a paycheck involved. Max says, yes, James, 100%. Neil says, used to go to Boston Garden back in the late 70s and early 80s. See WWF every month, best time back then for wrestling. And sometimes I watch, because I obviously didn't watch that back then, but I'll go back. WWF Network or WWE Network on Peacock has some of those all-star wrestling programs from the late 70s. And I'll go back. But it's not like you think. Like wrestling has all these the storyline. It's so different. 70s wrestling, like you're like, because they didn't really they had storylines, but they were just not played out like they were played out starting in the 80s. They didn't have characters that, we eventually saw in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. We started really seeing characters develop. And we started seeing there were characters in the 70s. And I mean, you had Gorgeous George back in the 50s. You had characters, but there were a lot of like John Smiths. And they weren't just jobbers. They were like main event guys. Like, I mean, you just had a lot of that. Max says to James, the boom is still here and alive. I will say, like, we are still in a boom period. Like, because it's going to get if you think it's getting worse, it's going to get a lot worse than what it is right now. Max is 100% correct. The boom is still here and alive, still way ahead of where we were pre-COVID. I mean, you take a look, just look, everybody compares. And I think the problem is, and I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of the influencers that post all of these sales, the Michael Jordan rookie card just sold for $100,000. It sold in January of 2022 for 1.1 million. That's a loss of $1 million. And it's like, well, what did it sell for in December of 2019? Like 30,000. Like, and we're still 3x that. So the market's still booming. I agree, 100%. Where are we at? Here we are. Carl Culper says, got Zeus the wrestler auto on a menu at an Atlanta Hawks game as a kid. Zeus, Tiny Lister. I think he passed away last year or 2 years ago. Neil says, also back in the early 80s, had wrestling come to my high school gym. Met Tony Atlas, Rocky Johnson, Mr. Perfect, the Samoans. That would have been a very young because Mr. Perfect wrestled like long before his Mr. Perfect gimmick as Kurt Hennig in the early 80s. Who else? I mean, there was Mankind, Cactus Jack, Mick Foley wrestled in, I think, 1986. He was a job guy. Ted DiBiase, long before his $1 Million Man gimmick, he was wrestling in the late 70s, early 80s. Hulk Hogan wrestled before he was Hulk Hogan, managed by Freddie Blassie. Shane says we need another disease so we can start selling cards again. Orlando says we just need a better economy. And the economy's it's kind of okay right now. Let's see. Steve says I probably passed you in the halls at the Garden, Neil. Let's see. Low Roller says unless Bitcoin and crypto going up crazy, your sports cards might go up crazy. There you go. Mark says best memory of wrestling for me. They had a card at my high school in 1982. I saw Jimmy Snuka and the Wild Samoans drinking shots in the locker room after fighting each other. And you weren't supposed to see that. That was like a couple years later. It was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. They got fired. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik got fired because they were busted traveling together. They were smoking pot traveling together. And it wasn't the smoking pot that got them in trouble. It was traveling together. Like, oh, that's a bad guy and a good guy. They can't be friends. Brian says, last boom I remember was 2003 during LeBron, Wade, Anthony rookie. LCS owner said he hadn't seen anything like it. Crash happened, and we had a boom about 15 years later. Yeah, the boom actually started 2017. Like, the boom happened in late 2020, early 2021. But it actually the market had been going up steadily since 2017. I don't remember 2000. Like I was long out of the game in 2003. I was a closet collector. I don't think I was even 2003. I might have been buying a little bit in 2003. I was never into basketball though. I mean, I was, but in like the mid 90s, I was long out of basketball by 2003. I was only into baseball. And and it was like hidden in a closet. Rip Debo. Woody says, how the heck do some eBay sellers sell cards for 99 cents and free shipping? I'll tell you why they don't. Well, how the heck do some eBay sellers sell cards for 99 cents and free shipping? The loss leader. I have roughly 50,000 items in my eBay store. My goal, and I list 99 cent free shipping cards every once in a while. My goal isn't to lose money and sell 99 cent a card, this Ryan Mountcastle for 99 cents for free shipping. My goal is to have somebody that wants a whole bunch of 2023 Topps Heritage High number, and they're like, oh, 99 cents, and if I buy 7 or more, I can get them down to 75 cents a card. I'll do that. I'm a set builder. And so I sell 7 or 8 of them for what, $6, $5, and they're commons. That's why. When I sell a 99 cent card with free shipping, I lose money. My hope is that customer comes back and buys more than one card at 99 cents in free shipping. My hope is they leave positive feedback. And my hope is I don't do many of those 99 cent with free shipping single transactions. My hope is for the volume. It's a loss leader. It brings people in the door sometimes. Max says those influencers had no idea what a baseball card was 4 years ago. Besides CC2, it's all built on hype like the news. Turn it off and experience and form your own opinions. John says we need people to collect because they love, not because they lust. But so I see things differently because I do this full time. I want people to love and lust, because the more people that are in the hobby, whether they're collectors loving the cards for the hobby or whether they're lusting over the money, it's all money coming in. And the more attention that is on the hobby, the more people will dabble, whether it's long-term or short-term. And money is coming into this hobby, which for people like me, it helps us out. Shane says mayo is over $8. We are not okay. Is it really? Gas is like $2.40. Gas is like $2.40. Mayo's not good for you anyway. Go buy something else. Go buy some lettuce and apples. Max says 100% John, long-term for sure. Short-term, the lusters do help a lot. I agree with that. Take advantage and put hay in the barn. 100%. I agree with Max. Stop buying mayo. I don't mind mayo, but yeah, where are you buying $8 mayo? Go to Aldi's. I bet mayo is not $8 at Aldi's or Walmart. I bet Walmart's cheap for mayo. If you have to have mayo. Pack Rat's Vault found thousands of wrestling 70s and 80s cards I forgot I had. Went to mini events at the Boston Garden and got backstage to meet a few. Great memories. That's awesome. That's awesome. Burbank switched to free shipping. They also bumped their minimum price from 99 cents to $1.49. See, the sky's not falling. Shane says, Max, I like mayo. It's good for multiple things. Aiolis, binders for rubs when smoking meat, or grilled cheese when you're out of butter. Never thought of that. Plus putting it on burgers, but $8 is outrageous. He said it was like $3 last year. Where are you buying your mayo? I'm going to look at mayo. I'm going to look at mayo. If I get to the store today, I want to compare prices. But I don't buy mayo, so that's why I don't know. I have noticed there's some food that's a little pricier, but I'm also going to the Pick and Save. It's not Pick and Save, the Metro Market. And I think with Metro Market, they're like, oh, we got to fancy your name, so we're going to raise the prices on you. Idiots. When mayo is more than weed, it's time to pivot. Morning, everyone. Make it a great day. Thank you, 4-leaf cards. Max thinks mayo is gross. Most condiments are garbage, just covering up shitty food. I do agree with that point. I do agree with condiments covering up shitty food, but I love condiments. I don't think condiments are garbage, but I do think they cover up shitty food. It's like, I don't know why Chicagoans are so angry at the world for putting ketchup on hot dogs. I'll put ketchup on a hot dog. The same people that say you can't put ketchup on a hot dog put 17 different things on a hot dog. Why? Because it's a fucking hot dog. It's disgusting. It's like the fucking snout of a cow or pig or whatever the hell animal. A fucking hot dog. You can't put ketchup on a hot dog? Why are you putting onions and celery and salt and tomatoes and pickles and kraut and all of onions? Because you're masking up a hot dog. It's a hot dog. So yes, condiments just cover up shitty food for the most part. You're not putting steak sauce on a good steak. You're putting steak sauce on a shitty steak. That's my soapbox. Brian says, sad I have to leave before the episode is over, but I have a meeting. Oh, Brian has to go to work. I'm sorry. Have a great day. Woody says, thanks for the insight. No offense meant, appreciate the info. It just didn't make sense to me till now, but it does pay off. My luck would probably be worse if I tried that strategy. I mean, you do lose money, but your hope is, the goal is to not lose money. But I understand why people look at it and see a whole bunch of listings at 99 cents free shipping and are like, well, you're losing money on that. But that's not, that's why volume discounts are in order. So you can get that price. Hopefully somebody comes in and buys 20 of these cards at 99 cents free shipping, and it's ends up being $17, $16 minus fees transaction. And it's just commons. So that's the way what we do, the way we do. Ben says, if you're still buying your weed, you're doing it wrong. Low Roller says, Burbank still lists 99-cent cards. They list $1.49 for vintage hockey cards. John says, LRS, like your financial advice, your post about Burbank is outdated. There you go. I'm gonna take John on this one. Fries are just condiment spoons. Ooh, that's good. I was disappointed. We had Culver's the other night, and I was disappointed. And it's probably because of the shake that I had. But I dipped my fry in my shake. I had an Oreo cookie shake. Here I am saying don't eat mayo. It's bad for you, as I dip a French fry in a fucking Oreo milkshake. Don't listen to me. I was disappointed. It's like, this just tastes like a French fry and an ice cream. Sometimes it's a good, this is good, but not at Culver's. So I only did that once. One fry, didn't work out. John says, only thing I put on my food is Lee and Perrins. Great value mayo, 30 ounce for $3.34. Point proven. There you go. Shane, you got to get your ass to Walmart. Ketchup is garbage, Max. You're right. I like ketchup, but I'm not a big, I like ketchup in French fries. I like ketchup on my burger. Michael says Sir Kensington is $8 mayo. That sounds hoity-toity. Don't be buying Sir Kensingtons. If you buy good mayo, if you're buying the cheap stuff, yeah, you get what you pay for. You're getting $3.34 for great value mayo. It's probably not good. But if you want a good, garlic aioli, yeah, you're probably going to pay $8. Lips and assholes, as Chevy Chase clearly taught us. Yes, Orlando loves ketchup. Ketchup, mustard, and relish on my hot dogs. And Victor's a Chicagoan, and he said that publicly. I'm with you. I'll put ketchup on my hot dog, and I'll say that. I said that. We were sitting in the berm out at spring training last spring, and I had a few beers, so I was pretty confident in my ketchup on a hot dog stance. And me and my buddy Crawley and Joe Kilgallen might have been with us. Somebody was with us, and Weeds was probably there. Her nickname is Weeds. I think it was just the four of us, and we're hanging out. We're having a good time. We're watching baseball. We're getting suntans. We're drinking beers. And I said, and I put ketchup on my hot dog. And you should have seen the reactions I got. My goodness. You would have thought I kicked somebody's puppy with the looks I got for putting ketchup on my hot dog. James says a good glizzy is heaven. I don't know what that means. John says it's a meeting for him to sign his EULA. But Max says the only thing that belongs on a steak is butter and rosemary. Ooh, rosemary. Otherwise, doing it wrong. I agree. Little slab of little thing of butter at the end. Chef's kiss. I'm with you. Max, you and I don't agree too much on food takes, but that's one we are 100% on board with. Shane says, Brian, does your job not know we are in a very important condiment debate right now? We're talking mayo and ketchup. Low Roller says, I don't have to work, so I can watch his YouTube stream anytime. There you go. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Max, add some time to that steak. There you go. Max says, on that disability money like the rest of the country. John says you should practice spelling bow if you aren't burdened by full-time employment. There you go. Did he spell it wrong? Oh, he did. Where's the B-E-O? Yeah, he butchered it. I'm like, well, maybe he just, nope, he butchered it. Let's see. There you go. He's going to use that disability money to buy crypto. LRS is the same dude buying gallon bags of Swedish fish with his food stamps. Peanut butter and bacon. You're welcome. Ooh, I don't think I can do that. I think bacon is overrated. Peanut butter is okay. I will occasionally eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. I think I'm on the okay. I think I'm on the peanut or bacon is just okay because my wife doesn't allow me to cook bacon in the kitchen because it smells. So if I have to make bacon, I have to go out use the grill. So I don't make bacon very often. Low Roller says you can use French fries, dip it in your ice cream chocolate. There you go. John says Chicagoans also eat pizza cake. I love me some pizza cake. Ketchup shouldn't mix with meat, in my opinion. I put ketchup on a corn dog. But it's a hot dog. A corn dog is just a battered hot dog. Is hot dog really a meat? I guess I put ketchup on a burger. But it's not like I don't have to have ketchup. I'd rather have I didn't have ketchup when I had the Culver's the other night. There was no ketchup on that burger. It was cheese and onion and pickles. I think that was all. No ketchup needed. John says can't be trusted. Ketchup on my eggs. I do put ketchup on my eggs. Andy Mack is here. Good morning. Never eaten a hot dog before. Never will either. Interesting. I had some friends growing up only would eat hot. That's the only food they would eat. Dan's in the house. Good morning. He says, while in Chicago, the recycle company truck was named LRS. Made me laugh. Yes, we have LRS here too. The porta potty that was in no, we did not have LRS. We had the Red Box Plus. Down the street, there was a porta potty, LRS. Oh, in the park. I think they took it out. It's winter, so they don't have a porta potty in the park anymore, but it was an LRS porta potty. Ketchup shouldn't be mixed with anything except to make barbecue sauces. Low Roller says you can put ice cream in your Wonder Bread. You can make a great ice cream sandwich. There you go. I think that's a joke. And mustard on brats is savage behavior as well. Yes. Thank you. I tried that once. And it's like, this is like brats and mustard do not mix. It's got to be ketchup. I like, I'm feeling some brats. I want a brat. My wife's got a work thing tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. Maybe I'll cook up some brats tomorrow night on the grill. But yeah, mustard and a brat don't mix. You got to put ketchup. I do ketchup, sauerkraut. And really, that's all I need on a brat. Ketchup and sauerkraut is all I need on a brat. Glizzy is hot dog slang. Aha. I make an awesome meatloaf with ketchup. Everyone loves it. Max says we agree on most food stuff, I feel, just not where to get. That's true. We both love chicken sandwiches. I prefer Popeyes. Max is team Chick-fil-A. Duke is here. He says depends on if it's a good steak or a bad steak on what goes on the steak. You should never, ever, ever put yourself in position to eat a bad steak. John says rosemary on steak is a left-wing agenda being thrust upon us by Soros and the libs. Johnny says anyone who puts ketchup on a hot dog probably does not change their own oil. Confirmed. Confirmed. Michael says bacon, egg, cheese, biscuit with jam. Yes. That sounds good. I'm getting hungry now. I'm getting really hungry. Tracy says birthday breakfast. A couple of years ago, my daughter asked for 1 pound of bacon, nothing else. My God. We, of course, cooked it for her. Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. That's a fluffer nutter. Bacon blasphemy. I just tell my wife to punt. No woman is worth no bacon. Dan says the interview with Jeremy Lee and Brian Gray was awesome. The 1 hour, 20-minute mark comment really stopped me in my tracks. What was that about? I don't know if I wonder if I've gotten that far. I had it on the background as I was shipping the other day. Sports Card Live. Here it is. Or 30 mark. Now I'm going to have to rewind. I'm at the 1 hour 30 mark. So what did you say? 120? All right. So I'm going to rewind. Maybe I was out of the room. I'm going to rewind to 118. Okay. 118. All right. I'm going to watch that, see what that was about. Max says, never eaten a hot dog. Sheltered or spoiled when you were younger, feel like hot dogs are a staple for kids' meals. Ketchup on eggs? My nephew does that, and it instantly makes me not hungry when I see it. Oh, yeah, I love ketchup on eggs. Stone ground mustard is good on brats and some kraut. Mark says, the only time I eat hot dogs is when I go to a game. I get to enjoy the taste days later. That's kind of where I'm at, is the only time I eat a hot dog is at a baseball game. If I'm going to grill something, I'm not going to grill hot dogs at home. I guess maybe for lunch. But if I'm going to grill something like that, it's going to be a brat, not a hot dog. Max says, everybody up here puts ketchup and mustard on anything made of meat you can buy at a concession stand. Never heard of the disdain of mustard until mixing with fibs. I don't have a disdain for mustard, but I don't like mustard on brats. Tracy's daughter gives me hope for the future. Max says, only reason I use rosemary is that's what Gibson's uses, asked a few years ago during the National. Interesting. Ben ate 9 hot dogs at Miller Park on Dollar Dog days, was completely sober by the end of the game and drove home. Johnny M says, I'm at the grocery store and have a strange feeling I'm going to be buying a lot of shit I don't need. Thanks, guys. Absolutely. I probably should not go to the grocery store today. I'm hungry. Brian Gray went an hour 20 without eating. Donald says on Car Dealer Pro, my price will change from $2 to $1,900 when I'm on the inspector page before I hit the mark as ready to hit list button. Has anybody noticed this problem? I have not experienced that problem. I have not. Anybody else? John says pigs in a blanket are the best of all worlds. I'm a pigs in a blanket fan. I eat I eat raw hot dogs. I eat raw hot dogs right out of the fridge. I have done that, but I have not done that in a while. I did that when I was a kid, a little kid, and then I did that in college. I have not done that since. Ben says was completely shit-faced drunk before the game, barfed in the Miller Park bathroom, and dropped my sunglasses in the toilet. Hot dogs saved the day. 9 hot dogs. So there you go. 9 hot dogs will sober you up. Andy Mack says, I guess my mom just never made me eat hot dogs. As an adult, I find liquefied meat unappealing. There you go. John says, only need to sell one $1,900 card to make it all worth it. There you go. All right. I'm getting hungry with all this food talk. I got to go eat some breakfast. John says, I had a full package of Scrapple on New Year's Day. Is that like the hash brown mix? I like that. Or whatever that is, Scrapple. I don't know what we call it here in the Midwest. I don't think it's Scrapple, though. Alrighty, hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. Have a great day. Max says, most meat you are eating is processed and liquefied. Probably a lot of truth in that. Scrapple is the shit that doesn't make it into a hot dog. So that's what I had for today. Take your trash out. If it's your trash day, I've got to go do that myself. Tomorrow is Thursday, and then it's Friday, and then it's Saturday and Sunday. We will go live both Saturday and Sunday. Friday we'll play Name That Player. Comments keep coming in. Another successful condiment debate. And we all leave with the same thoughts. None of us changed each other's minds. Dan says it went by real quick, but it was about the bounties. I felt like there was a ton more to say than that they knew about. Okay, I think I do remember them touching on that. I'll re-listen to it just to hear it again. Nothing stuck out to me the first time, but I was multitasking. Thank you, Shane. Orlando says he's not hungry anymore. So there you go. We curbed hunger and we curbed not hunger. Whatever. All right. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, visit my eBay store. See you tomorrow.